Yeah, Mundo and Lulu have been 100% pick ban in the actual regional matches. None of the fun matches, but the regional ones. When people are playing seriously, those two are off the table every time.
What, you mean the 1v1's not serious?
There's no... I guess
Not
the
Mundo.
bans
I'll
did
give-
get really
not
trolly
Mundo.
in that, so
It's hard to get ahead with Mundo jungle in the 1v1 though.
it's true.
On the other hand, we got Lee Sin banned away. Gangplank 2 is not a surprise either. He has been very, very high up there in the popularity.
Alright, target ban to Froggen, target ban to Amazing. More generic bans on the side of T-Nice.
I wonder if there's going to be a Thresh ban over to Mad Life or a Blitzcrank. Because if you leave both those hook champions up for him, he's probably going to take one of them.
Got to play once.
Mad Life did ban, or his team rather, ban his own Thresh at one point in the tournament, so doesn't seem to favor it that much. He's actually been playing a lot of tank supports, a lot of Alistar, Braum lately. Needs to be the initiator or peeler for his team overall, so may not even see that higher priority on that pick. But I'd love to.
It's not as fun!
I'd love to see Mad Life Thresh.
Yeah, I miss it.
It could still be a possibility. They can only ban that or the Blitzcrank going forward, but with the Lulu taken off the board, only 10 seconds remain to find out what Ice will remove.
Maybe Rise. I think seeing Faker's Rise is really scary. You might want to remove that off the field here. And no, it's going to be the Thresh for Mad
They
Life.
fear the Mad Life.
No fun.
No wife still today. Of course, that does leave Elise a very high-tier jungler up. Meteos, rather, has been playing quite a lot of it, and he does lock it in.
I thought his Kindred was really good as well. So I'm a little bit surprised by the Elise here, especially since it's going to leave a whole lot on the table for that top lane, for that jungle. Still, that's extremely powerful.
And they don't even have to rush the Kindred anymore. They can just take their time here, leave it open. Yes, you can flex it in 80 carry roles, but in the match with this much at stake, and with these type of players that don't see a Kindred 80 carry kind of coming out, so Team Ice can prioritize other picks here, or just simply hide their picks as long as they come. There's no really power picks anymore that they really want to rush in the first two slots. Those days are kind of over.
Yeah, you pretty much get a core for your composition or something that's slightly contested very early on. I love just getting your jungler and your support very early on, but it looks like they're going to go with their 80 carry here for Uzi, and that is also still a flex pick, but most likely support. No, I don't like that too much.
I'm not sure how throwing a Karma in is going to go,
I think it's actually more likely that this Karma ends up on a solo lane, especially with solo lane Spooky Ghost being an option. That's
true. Oh, yeah.
I think she can do some interesting things, and we saw yesterday as well in the double lift Kasing matchup, just how strong Mantra W really is.
Well, we know a few people who love that mid lane Karma, too.
Yeah, Karma is extraordinarily powerful with the Mantra W, like Prep was talking about, where you get so much HP back so quickly, you basically win every trade, and it's so frustrating. Karma can actually build many different ways. I've seen tank Karma before, and it's just absolutely ridiculous because it's your missing HP, it's a percentage, so you get way more back off of the W. So she has versatile builds, but in a lane, she's very oppressive.
Yeah, more importantly, Mantra W just... You can even use it and then not auto-attack and chase people in minions, and you will not draw minion aggro, since spells do not draw minion aggro, so some creative gameplay is there, but she does fall off incredibly hard.
I like this Quinn. Is Marin going to take Quinn? Is he going to be on the flip side of a matchup here? I mean, maybe he learned a thing or two from Huni. You would hope.
It's a flex pick, man. Sometimes you just got to take the Quinn to win, but we do have a Braum locked in. That will be for Mad Life. Of course, still thinking it'll probably go to double lift, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm always very disappointed when Quinn is 80 carry, because Quinn is so powerful in mid, jungle, and top. I don't care which one. You know, there's top. It's definitely the most powerful, but don't put it 80 carry.
You just want weird stuff.
It's a waste.
Every single time. Now, there's got an Alistar hover right here, which means we could be seeing the Karma in the solo lane. Amazing, considering his jungle pick as well.
Faker Rengar.
What else is still available in the jungle frame with the Elise off the table, the Kindred that we talked about? But what else do you think Amazing might want to go for if it's not this Rengar?
I mean, there's obviously Rek'Sai and Gragas, which have fallen off tremendously, so plenty of picks available, but the fact that he's hovering Rengar knows it's either Kindred or Rengar at this point. And it does seem the team is telling him, stop trolling. Pick that broken champion. Keep us alive.
Especially since they haven't drafted any knockback. You can't draft a Gragas at this point. Lee Sin is banned out as well. So Meteos, they aren't going to have anything that really hard counters the Kindred ulti.
Also the Trundle as well. I mean, this is kind of like a bit of a shot in the dark when you don't know what the top lane is going to be. And if it is that Quinn, I don't know if it's really optimal there.
There's so much flexing going on here. Trundle can technically be top laner.
Oh, you're right.
Against the heavy tank right now.
I have seen Trundle support.
Trundle support is fine, especially with Kalista to close the gap. You can pull him back out. You steal some 80 as well. Yeah, we've seen Trundle support been played plenty of times, and in a meta game where you may sometimes see some more one-dimensional tanks in the top lane, obviously Trundle goes up in value. Karma could end up both mid, top, and support, so Team Fire completely in the dark right now.
Yeah, at this point, though, I wouldn't actually draft a tank on the side of Team Fire because at that point, you're just helping Trundle out. I would throw the Quinn top. I would pick your mid lane and your AD carry here and make sure that this is your lineup because if you get somebody who's going to take tank stats, Trundle is direct counter to that.
The fact that Mad Life actually locked in that Braum also just indicates that they are looking for a damage threat in the top lane, have their tank on the support.
Good point. And also double AD carry is so good with a Braum. If you land that Q, it pops immediately.
They've got a ton of damage on this side, not just from the AD side as well, with that Brand lock-in. Can be very oppressive. We have seen it used just a little bit. And I think in Faker's hands, anything's a weapon. Time ticking down here, and I don't think it's going to be the Zed. It's a little bit more the Respect hover. I know you're good at this, Faker.
I mean, it's a fun matchup.
Yeah, well, he could.
You get bullied when trying to CS, but Zed shadow movements have a lot of outplay potential. Brand is entirely skill shot based except for the E, so make a lot of things disappear.
See what Froggen goes with. I do want to talk about the Tristana here for Doublelift. I think Tristana is an undervalued champion on this patch because of the changes to explosive satchel. The satchel that if you actually get all stacks on it, you get a reset on your rocket jump, so you get to jump again.
Yep.
And it's a good counter to Kalista because you just point on him, throw it up, and there you go.
There we go. That seems more like a Froggen champion to me.
This is so season 2, man. Brand mid against Nivea, against Lux. Jesus.
And the Trundle support. We got top lane Karma.
I love seeing matchups like this. I love Froggen's Lux, by the way. Straight up carried me in many occasions in my life, both offline, online. So fantastic pick to see.
Yeah, and I think that Lux benefited a lot from the new masteries. Thunderlord's Decree on Lux allows her to hit breakpoints very early on in the game. Around level 9, you can easily one-shot the enemy AD carry, the enemy mid laner, no problem.
Oh yeah, this is going to get incredibly bloody, but I do want to ask your gentlemen's opinions on which matchup or which full composition you really think is favored here.
It's really tough. These are no tank compositions except for the supports, so it's very squishy. You're going to have to rely on the jungler and get some advantage in that way. I do think the bot lane matchup does go in favor of Fire. That's really only the one that I'm saying 100% here.
Yeah, Tristana is traditionally a strong pick into Kalista. Braum can deny a lot of damage of the Kalista, and just the fact that you can jump in with Twist, W from Braum afterwards, even Q flash aggressively. So in a pure 2v2 scenario, no junglers involved, Braum Tristana is an incredibly fun lane to play. The only problem is that when you do want to capitalize on that all-in potential, you can always get ganked.
Yeah, always possible. Now, guys, why don't you go ahead and let us know what you think. You know the drill by now. Hop on Twitter, #FireWin, #IceWin, and see who you think is going to be the one to take this all-star of all-stars up in here. Studio.
Yep.
The silence settles in as we get ready to kick this one.
Studio NA. Yeah, definitely looking to what Froggen's playstyle is going to be. Lux can kind of force push a little bit and then roam, costs a lot of mana, but we saw that yesterday or the day before where he teamed up with Amazing to actually go dive top. Karma has a lot of wave control, can get all in by Marin really, but should be able to keep him at bay there on that Quinn. So the wave control could very much so be in favor of Team Ice because Doublelift obviously can't manipulate waves with Tristana, is obviously forced to execute those minions and make them splatter all around. So some good role plays could be set up because minion waves are very much so influenceable by Team Ice.
Very conservative, safe start, especially in a tournament that's been filled with a whole lot of ham and cheese this time around. And remember, 200 points on the line for this matchup with currently the points sitting at Fire, 100 ahead of Ice.
Oh, Faker
As
comes
many
down
as they
from the
can.
top.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, damn.
Faker goes in on Uzi. Doublelift looking for him right now. They might be able to get this level 1. Uzi's all isolated from the rest of the team. He's going to have to
Mad
burn
Life
the
has
flash
Q.
over the wall. Mad Life hits it. It's intercepted by PYL. There will be no kill to start.
Doublelift started with jump though. That is pretty interesting.
Yeah, they get the flash from Uzi, but it still is something that you can punish on Tristana very early on. In terms of actually trading with somebody, it's probably the worst ability to take level 1.
Oh yeah,
It's probably better.
kills your lane push, kills your trading potential, even kills like your level 2 if you just want to keep laning with just puts you so far behind.
Yeah, it's still actually pretty good in a level 2 all-in.
Yeah, but you'll never get to that scenario because you lose the wave push. That's the problem.
Well, it was a calculated risk.
No, definitely, it's
got
still worth burning a summoner. Obviously, you can return to the bot lane, kill Uzi, and then you can hashtag work. But we'll need to see if Meteos actually can find his way to the bottom. He is starting on the left side of the map. That indicates generally that you path downwards. Flash play, as we talked about earlier, jumping in Mad Life after Q Flash with Meteos should generate honestly, if Uzi doesn't die to first blood, Fire will be making a mistake.
Yeah, and I definitely think you want to camp this bottom lane. Doublelift went up against Uzi the other day, and Uzi went 15, 4, and 11. He definitely got a large advantage off of this lane matchup out of pure skill and outplaying.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, we've been seeing Doublelift skills on Showcase in the solo 1v1 scenario the last hour or so, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later as this mid lane matchup. They're just trading a little bit back and forth, but Froggen is not getting the better of that, or it looks like he might just barely be to start this one off. It's really going to be hard to tell if people are just going to try to take these 1v1s or play it back, wait for the jungle.
It's those changes to the call for help mechanic. You saw those caster minions were all over Faker. Normally they wouldn't have been because Froggen was too far away, but it's those changes. Those came in after Worlds, so people haven't really seen them before.
And this matchup, any brand matchup, you really want to predict the last hits while the enemy is walking up for a last hit. Hang on. I'll do the same to Faker here.
Ooh. Out of the shadows.
Oh.
And they get the stun into the Wolf's Frenzy. Faker is target numero uno, taken out by Froggen.
And he burns his ghost as well, so they get a summoner spell on top of all of that.
Fantastic Q from Froggen overall. And Faker was leading in this matchup because every time Froggen walked up for a CS and locked into that auto attack animation, that's when Faker would use his W. And if you do that correctly, there's almost this movement speed. With the low amount of movement speed based on Lux, there's just no dodging available if you do it correctly.
The moment too, with Amazing back in his own jungle for the moment. He should have pretty easy time to hunt down that Scuttle Crab and start adding stacks to himself, but losing PYL a little bit lower than Mad Life Doublelift here.
Yeah, they're letting the wave push out. That's what they're doing. They could have AFK pushed it into the tower over and over again. They want to sacrifice a bit of the push because they want Meteors to come around and just make use of that Braum passive here.
By a little bit of
the exposed.
PYL is the one they're still firing on because Uzi's hopping away from danger as Meteos shows face, but in comes Amazing as well, and we've got a 3-3 on our hands. Mad Life is gonna unbreakable this one, and the Cocoon does not connect. That'll be the disengage.
They were one creep away from hitting level 3 before that gank came out, and Amazing, he was doing the Scuttle Crab, so that was actually a strange opportunity where they should have pushed it a little bit more before they went in. Doublelift.
Oh, this goes too far.
miscommunication.
You know, I don't know. I feel like Doublelift might be trying to impress right now. He's been playing with his ex-girlfriends, but now he's got his dream girl in the bot lane.
I mean, he's played with him before, so I think it's actually the one that got away.
The one that got away.
Well, maybe not. Hopefully not this
I mean,
game.
in every relation, somebody's reaching, somebody's settling. So, Mad Life definitely settling. Although he has been in space prison for ages, so who knows?
It's true. Relationship advice.
It's
with casters,
finally
you
out.
guys.
He gets to shop around a little.
Either
yeah.
way, he's at disadvantage now.
Anyways, what I wanted to point out is that Uzi should have died there. Like, straight up. If they just went... If Doublelift actually jumped in, used the heal, the fact that you have the stun on Uzi, by that time, Meteors could come in. Uzi has no flash available. Just straight up aggression would have killed Uzi in that exchange, but weren't ready to go for it. Now Amazing, setting up for the dive.
Doublelift is very low. We will see that sad, sad dragon animation if Doublelift does go down. So, fortunately, he smells the danger, backs away, realizes this is not the best place to be right now.
Yeah, Team Ice has played beautifully around that lack of flash. Really good counter gank there in the bot lane. Amazing securing the push. Was obvious what's going on if the Tristana stops pushing. There's obviously the risk of an all-in. Media started on the left side of the map. No lane was really gankable mid and top, so that it all pointed into a bot gank direction. And Amazing was in the right place at the right time, and that's why people have called him one of the best junglers at this tournament so far.
Good sense, too. He's going top immediately. Since nothing happened bottom, you would think that the enemy jungler would go to top because they saw you on the other side of the map.
Instantly, he's going to go ahead and have to flash behind his own turret, but Meteos is there. They're diving it, don't even care. And that's Marin picking up Koro. Dodging out is Meteos. Marin takes another tower shot. Amazing defends the turret.
Yeah, the patient on Meteos, if you wonder why Core randomly flashed, you basically expect the Cocoon to come out and didn't trust his reactions to wait for the animation. A really good patience there on Meteos, and then flashes out, resets 2 projectiles with that repel outside of turret range too. Fantastic gank.
TP on the ward here. Just trying to get back to lane.
Marin is going to have to back, but he backs away a little bit further before he does decide to go ahead and do that. Right now, pressure topside in favor of Fire. It is a pretty even game, however, and of course, Amazing's going up in the top as well right now, but he's just clearing out.
Yeah, and Core is struggling because he's in the building phase of that Spooky Ghost item, and that's when you have tier 2 spell thieves. Obviously, you can't make use of any of the procs because you're continuously last hitting. That puts them on cooldown unless you wait for them to go off cooldown, then poke and then last hit, but it's incredibly hard to do that. If Marin is aware of his surroundings, he won't take any of those procs, so keeping Core down while it's still in the build phase can actually delay a lot of gold and a lot of damage later on.
And I think this is such a unique item for the top lane, because if you build this on Koro, on this Karma, what you'll end up doing is you hit it as your jungler is coming in. It'll check for if the enemy jungler is around, so you see it run off in a weird direction, it'll check and be like, oh, that's where Meteos is. And if it hits Marin, Quinn has no escape. She'll try to bounce off of you, but you can buffer your W against her with Karma. So there's a lot of great things here that Coral can end up doing once he has that edge.
Oh man, Traffic Cone stopping double lift and Mad Life for moving too far forward. But it is PYL that gets stunned up just a bit. Uzi's the healthiest one on this team, and he's got a whole lot of spears sticking in Mad Life.
Oh.
Can't pull him out. Nope.
He actually has really good knowledge of Kallista's mechanics, because you saw that because Mad Life was out of range, he stuck a new spear in a minion and then tried to go to the left a little bit more. And then when you rip the spears out, the detection range of the spears is actually bigger than the activation range, where you have the ability to use E. So he was trying to cheat it a little bit and get that extra range.
And generally in combination with that mechanic, Froggen trying to steal
Oh.
here. Faker does get it.
Almost.
Faker does get it. In combination with that mechanic, you also just want to execute a minion so you don't lose the cooldown. Just keep harassing over and over.
That's true.
Amazing spotted up on the top side. Now, he's definitely had a pretty solid start to this game as Kindred. He's just able to go where he wants for the most part. He hasn't had a lot of counter pressure from Meteos, who's just been focusing a little bit more on those lanes. But we'll go back to bottom lane as Uzi takes an explosive charge. PYL is going to get stunned up by the winners, Bite Proc, and Doublelift just keeps on firing.
Yeah, and this trade right here shows you why this lane is so strong, because you can always initiate trading on Uzi. The damage return will always be blocked by Mad Life because it's so easy. And then POL has to walk up incredibly far forward, puts himself in stun range immediately. Then the trade is won again by Team Fire bot lane. So this mismatch is kind of only solved.
Oh, another bind.
Yep, they get it, and into the Wolf's Frenzy he goes. Faker this time's got his flash, and he uses it. Down he goes anyways. As the arrow picks him off, it's amazing. That gets the kill.
Not even paying attention. I just love bot lanes so much.
Yeah, I was about to be like, oh yeah, and even though PYL lost the trade, he's Trundle, so he just sits around and gets more HP back. So as Trundle, you want to actually continue to constantly trade with people, because as soon as you lose or win that trade, you get to back off, and then you're full HP again.
A little bit of a slow up there. Meteos.
Get around in the bottom though.
Yeah, Goro's going to go ahead and take the fight to Marin. Dodges out the blind. He's healthy.
But yeah, Faker in mid, no summoner spells now. Prime target for Amazing to gank, and he hasn't actually been doing a great job of warding his top side.
Uh-oh, Amazing. Might have gone a little too deep in enemy territory here. The Spider's on him. Teleport's coming down, but he's going to hop the wall. In goes the Repel, and the Spider will try to chase him down, but he throws down the Lambs for Spite. Meteos can't finish him
early.
up. Gets the heal. In comes Marin. He's in Valor form, and he finishes it off.
Yeah, Media, strong release play, but needs to work on that Kindred timing. Use the
Yeah.
Q execute just a fraction of a second too early. Loses the cooldown.
They're going to go ahead and try to take out this blue buff right now. Should be no trouble as no one's quite around yet, but they are aware it's happening. Team Ice will be aware that they've given this one up, and Froggen just catches a little bit of the Sentinel.
It's good for Faker, because he doesn't have any summoner spells right now. You want to make it so that the Lux just can't continue to be oppressive in this lane. Every little bit counts.
Indeed it does. Now, Mad Life tanking up as much damage as he can for Doublelift. Losing PYL, definitely more than a match for these guys, though. They've built themselves up a decent CS lead, 17 in favor of Uzi. Back to the mid, it's pretty much dead even. Yeah, it's 5 in favor of Faker, but there's 2 kills that he's got in the wrong checkbox.
Yeah, but Marin has 2 in the right checkbox at the top lane. He's close to finishing his Yuma's Ghostblade, and when he does, I wouldn't be surprised to see him roam. He did get that TP play, so that'll be on cooldown, but Quinn is just so good. Marin can make it to that mid lane very quickly to help Faker out.
And right now in mid lane, it's the game of catch. You very rarely will see Froggen throw out like random Qs. He just wants to get Faker on the edge with E, and then again, as Froggen's CSing, you know, he has to walk forward, and that's when Faker will always use his W. So trying to fight each other with CS, and that's the mark of great mid laners, is when not only are they focusing on their own creeps, they're continuously challenging you to get the CS, and it's incredibly annoying to play against. You just watch Faker's VODs closely, you'll see that he's always walking up when the opponent is trying to go for CS.
Go back to top lane where Koro is being charged down. Has to burn his flash. He still goes down. He even sent the spooky ghost, but they couldn't keep him alive.
Marin is having revenge for what happened to him yesterday. Even though it's not the guy who did it to him, he's like, you know what, this happened to me. You're gonna know how this feels.
Hey man, MSI was definitely a big blow as well, and he will get something back for that. 3-0 on the board. POL stunned up in the bottom side, but Doublelift, Amazing the one that's unhealthy. Amazing's coming around the side.
Been waiting here a while. He's marking him.
Going for it. Doublelift knows his time is close to down. He sends out the explosive shot, or the buster shot, I should say, but it won't save his life. Mad Life's going down. Double kill, and PYL gets yanked out, and now the tower is all but free.
Yeah, Amazing didn't get a stack for that, but they are going to get this turret, and they do get 2 kills on top of it. Flash is still available for this bottom lane, but the thing is, there was really no escaping from that.
Should have really tried to get out a little bit sooner, but he hung around as best he could, and it just did not work out well for him. 2 kills on the board to Ice. They did give up a turret in the bot as well, picking one up for themselves. That's going to prompt Fire, Meteos and Marin rather, to just go ahead and take down the Rift Herald. Dragon was not eyeballed by Ice.
Really big difference in which side of the map is doing well. Team Fire straight up praying that Marin will just carry them from the top lane, whereas the bot lane struggling. And at this point, that matchup starts to tilt towards Uzi and PRL because they're just so far ahead. Because if you leave PRL unchecked, he actually does a lot of damage on jungle support, way more than a Braum can procure.
Absolutely, but there's a ticking time bomb in Marin. I mean, we saw what Huni was able to do with that Quinn the other day.
Yeah, they're going to send everybody up to this top lane because it's pushing towards this turret in the first place. So either Koro would get completely zoned off of this CS and possibly killed because the Yomas is completed. They're going to send more people up here, reinforce it, try to get this turret rather quickly.
UL's going for Marin, but I don't
He might be able to
wants
burst
take this take. Oh, he blocks him off with the cone. Marin's going to vault over, but he realizes there are too many members. Froggen will shut him down with a big laser, and Meteos now is going to get a bite taken out of him before he repels up and away. Frozen Domain, in comes Faker. The stun will connect. PYL is going to back away as the Pillar of Flame forces him.
And immediately a push comes out from the bottom wave. They're going to try to get this turret and try to trade it for the top turret and make it so it's only a kill that ends up being the difference here.
Giving Uzi the solo farm on this one as well as they take the blue buff away. Really playing the game of sides this time around, making sure that if they're not strong on one, they're strong on the other. Game, Ice and Fire continues. 13.5 minutes in.
I think Marin also vaulted off the incorrect target there. He went for the one in the back. If he had gone for the one closer, he may have been able to launch himself over the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Setting up for another all in.
Marin over. Oh boy, he is in some trouble. Vaults, but he's got a whole lot of spears in him. And Amazing is around the side, says thank you very much. He's on a spree as they look to take tier 2.
Yeah, and they got his flash. And down in the bottom, only tier 1 gets cleared. Koro is behind, but he's still enough wave clear. So that's why right now, Doublelift and Madlife are roaming to the mid lane.
Overconfident there from Marin. That looked like the second time where he just sees somebody. That looked like it was, no, both people are there, and Uzi is rather strong. That was definitely a huge misplay. Back to back as well.
One right after the other. However, Team Fire does look to lick their wounds and maybe pick up a dragon while they are at it.
Yeah, and you can see how the metagame has shifted. That dragon would have gone down a lot sooner if this was a couple of patches ago. Just no value on that dragon. Current metagame whatsoever. Just you likely won't get to the 5th one. Very unlikely with the rapid pacing on the game. So that's why getting one might be good, but just playing the map and getting more tempo and getting your team snowballing very often gets the priority.
Yeah, I even thought that taking the Rift Herald there for Marin was rather good because it gives you that 10% increased damage, so he would be able to bully Koro even more, and the wave was pushing towards him. So it seemed like the perfect storm for Marin to just continue to snowball top lane. But everybody from Ice showed up there, actually the best move they could have possibly taken.
Yeah, despite the fact that Koro went down a little bit early on as QL takes a Winter's Bite, he does know a thing or two about staying alive. And in the LPL, he's just always known for this. Just, I will survive in lane. I will make sure that I am an asset to my team later on. I may not finish all my items right away, but you know what? You're not going to shut me down. So he's a perfect matchup in a lot of ways for Marin, who really just wants to take it out and snowball the game as best he can.
And once again, he's just throwing wards out there. He has the Eye of the Equinox, and he's still holding on to his Trinket ward.
Yep.
So he has a total of 6 wards available to him.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to play Vision right now. I think just going Sightstone into Sweeper immediately, like Madlife is doing right now, it's so incredibly hard to play. If one of your wards just gets swept, you're basically only warding at 66% efficiency, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, because the Sightstone nerfed from 4 to 3 wards, he has half the wards available to him that PYL does. And then when you have Sweeper, you're not going to be able to sweep enough wards with one Sweeper to actually make up for that deficit of 3 wards.
There's a trade-off in the tankiness that you're able to bestow when you finally finish the face of the mountain, but I feel like somebody like Trundle doesn't really care about that.
I mean, you can obviously... The trade-off is more the utility from the proc because it's a cheaper item. It's also more slot efficient. You jam more stats into one slot.
Yeah.
Leaves you actually, for a full build, able to just get more value, more tanking in the long run. I think it's the preferred item on
Tanks, yeah.
on the tanks, on the relic support. You just can't shift away from Spelte's upgrade, obviously, since it's so incredibly strong. We'll need to see Koro, see if he can use it somewhere, make some picks. Just picks into Siege. If you can get rid of Faker, there's incredibly good Siege poke here coming out of Koro and Froggen.
Yeah. However, they're going to have to worry if they do wander up into that top side jungle. It is lit up like a Christmas tree at the moment, despite the inferior side stone on the side of Team Fire.
Yeah, and if it ever comes to a siege, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get the pillar from the Trundle come out, facilitate the skill shots from Frog, and only one needs to connect, but talk about that later. Maybe. Double
spotted.
be in trouble
Double
here.
lift.
He's got the hop. He's going to use the Buster shot, but there is the cone, and a flash away says, I don't think so, not today.
Uzi just sweeps or throws down the scrying orb in the brush. 100% double lift is there. Double lift is at a level disadvantage as well. He's a level down. I had no idea what he was going to try to do against the Blade of the Ruined King Callista.
Probably just assumes Uzi would take the farm and back off because there was not enough vision.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hide in the brush and then just match the waves. Like, he was not looking to fight Uzi at all there because obviously.
I don't think Amazing's looking to fight either, especially not 1v4. He's going to back away. He has had a little bit of rougher of a time than he was in the early game to roam around the map. Nonetheless, Team I still holding on to a slim advantage, but it just seems with the map movements, Fire are the ones in control of the pace.
And it's gone. So no Cloud 9 movements where you push up the bot lane, rotate to the mid lane, siege down that tier 1 tower because we're back in Season 2. Wave clear mids. Over and over.
Amazing's going on a roam again, so see if he can get a catch on Double Lift, who is going to go ahead and try to take out the Raptors. Instantly Amazing's there, and Double Lift will back away and take them for himself. Nowhere is safe, but the Rift Herald is not either. Vidios and Marin will take that down again.
And look at Faker as well on your minimap. He's always positioned to the left side. He's really hugging that left wall because he knows the right side of his jungle is exposed. His main job right there is to wave clear and avoid getting go. But that does leave tier 2 bottom open for a potential dive drop.
Exactly. Just look at the warding from both teams. Top side is all blue, bottom side is all red. Play towards the side that you have warded. But right here, they just came through the jungle. They saw them actually come this way.
Yeah, but the main difference is that Ice has an AoE wave clear mage in the top lane, and Marin can't bust that open, whereas Fire just doesn't have the wave clear. It's on a static mid lane champion like Brand. There's no Lux ultimate that you can use to play one on the sideways, so really Ice pivoting around the point that is the issue, which is all the wave clear from Faker. The only way you're gonna get that mid-tier tier 1 tower is if you dive Faker. What you can do waiting to set up for that dive is just pick away at the other side. Just pivot around that mid. Don't spend too much time just AFK sieging mid because it's never really gonna work unless Faker's gone.
So far, he is only Mad Life holding. Yeah, Vidios is coming back up, so that means Ice is going to back away. Marin tries to go around the side, but he's not quite in sync with his teammates. It's going to be a word war as he vaults over Amazing. But now it's Uzi around the side, and he throws PYL, forcing the flash of Marin away. Faker's looking for one as well, and the Luxol will whiff in between the middle. Everyone backs away before another match queue.
Nice change of direction there as well from Marin. The obvious way to go is to just go to the right. PYL, he still wants more.
Oh, he wants to fight this. That Trundle is big, but he takes a little bit more damage than he bargained for in the back half. I'll disengage once again, but it is really a fight, a war of attrition over this mid lane. Tier 1 tower still standing.
Yeah, Ice with an aggressive push to get through the choke point into the mid lane. If they had to path the long way around, they would have lost more damage on that tier 1 tower. I want to keep that alive. It's a really good seed. It's a really just good position for Froggen because he can pan out to the left, pan out to the right, and join pushes on the side with his laser every single time as long as the tier 1 is still up.
Those cones and the choke points are just going to make life so hard for Team Fire here. If they position it correctly, Ice has got themselves a pretty scary combo.
I don't know why they're lurking here with 3 people. It's obvious this wave's going to be cleared.
Oh, okay. Hello. Gonna flash forward though, looking for PYL who's stunned up, bouncing the Pyroclasm, and that's PYL going down. Everyone from Ice is bailing away. Don't you know not to play with fire?
Marin, if you take damage while you're channeling your ultimate, it gets interrupted and put on a 3-second cooldown as Quid.
Vidios.
Doesn't know where to go. He's just getting kited around here.
These fights are so touch and go because everyone's just so darn squishy. And goodbye, Faker! Looking for more. It's gonna be though Amazing, who is stopped up by the cocoon. Double Lift backing away, and Mad Life escapes with a sliver of health.
Yeah, this is the second time Froggen has clipped Faker with a Q to the left in a dodge pattern. So he definitely done his homework, or just watch Faker play, or just mind gaming him because the second time that Faker straight up steps into a Froggen Q.
He even got boots rather early on as well to try and dodge this. Those are kind of expensive boots. You know, the sword pen you definitely want because when you end up in these team fights, you want to be able to do a lot of damage to the squishy targets, which we just saw happen there with Pyroclasm. Amazing got cocooned, and he had no opportunity to actually hit his ult.
There
He goes almost up.
Not quite yet, but they won't even need it because Koro has just got a whole hell of a lot of damage with the help of POIL. He gets some revenge and takes down Marin. Meanwhile, Uzi in the bottom push back.
Koro and PYL have actually been running a rather interesting combo. My favorite thing about this is when, yeah, that was really
That's
nice.
beautiful.
He hit both of them.
Yeah, and obviously, the laser is not a projectile, doesn't get stopped by the Braum shield. Amazing.
No opportunity.
Very low there, he gets caught out, but honestly, that was still, for me, a positional mistake from the Blue Side team, from Team Fire, because there's no way you're going to siege into a Lux.
Yeah.
You need to catch her out, and her range on Wave Clear, as long as she has mana, is too big, with E and R not being able to stop by Mad Life.
She's not there right now.
can always
Rocket
do
does have
that.
ulti.
Yeah, they've got a Tristana. They definitely got a way to push this tower very quickly. Doublelift hanging out, being body blocked by Meteos, and they just can't finish it off before the Lux comes in, but they've got some serious damage on it, and they have control of this side of the river.
But they still have to wait, wonder, worry about this mid lane. Because this is where all the action's going down. Martin's on again.
But about these fights, Marin, half his health gone in the blink of an eye. Still trying to siege this one up, but they don't have a huge wave of minions.
Yeah, that may not be the best target to actually blow your spells on because he's going to back, he's going to use his ultimate, he's going to run back to this lane really quickly with the home guards.
Mad Life is stunned up, but he is just so darn tanky. BYL wants to take a bite out of him, and Koro will pick up the kill. 2-2 now on the Karma. Meanwhile, Fire will bag themselves a dragon. They're first on the game.
Always feels so terrible when you just want somebody to jump to, and they leave you. They were doing an objective though, so they get their first dragon of the game for his life, but look at this. This might be a bigger objective going down for it.
It's appropriate. This team has 3 members from China, and the Baron is what they have been all about. Froggen coming to join up. Will they be able to secure it? Surrounded by Fire members right
Faker.
now. They've got the cone down, but can they get the damage? This is gonna be close. It's going down to 1,000. It's picked up by Uzi, and the fight is on. BYL hanging out in the Lancers fight. Fire is just getting exploded all over the fight. Double is down. BYL looking for Marin. T-Vice is all over this one, but they've lost 2. Faker and still looking for Marin, who just goes nearly down. This is so tense right now, guys.
There's still a flash on Froggen. He can bail if he wants to.
Oh,
but he's
that
gonna
like
stay.
Koro stays around, just barely. Can they pick him up? I don't know about this one. He's exploded, and
He's gonna
Koro
die.
still alive. Not anymore. Shut down by Faker.
That's 1-4 all over again. Didn't know Anivia this time.
Uh-oh. Oh, he can't back in time.
Oh, that was so smart by Froggen.
Oh my God, the pillar. He's got time to spam the emotes even.
This isn't fair. Froggen
got
has no way to
flash.
go
Oh, look
back.
what Froggen's doing. He's using the Eat the Zone, potentially base out here.
He's got flash still. Oh, he uses it. Oh, all right.
See, that's what I love about like players like Faker or Froggen, just the split decision to put the E in the choke point, then base. Either you base or Faker is forced to step into the E, make a predictable W as well that you can then easily juke and just win that small trade. Watch Meteos. I think he face plants to the wall here. And yeah.
Yep.
Do not go.
At that point, you repel first.
Nah, you want to repel for the fight. You just want to flash in, but
Yeah.
problem is just just
That
gotta
was a
get in
great
there.
buster shot into the corner, killing 2 people there.
Now, okay, back into Marin play.
This is the play right here. You buffer the W. Quinn looks extraordinarily overpowered, but it's because people don't actually buffer abilities against the Vault. Vault, I was playing Quinn the other day. I vaulted into a Heimerdinger and he killed me immediately by using his rockets at me, and you just run straight into all of them. Buffer your abilities against Quinn and you will be fine.
World's 2015 MVP, but he ain't no Huni apparently. Koro definitely getting nice and big. Said earlier, he likes to keep himself relevant. Well, he certainly has, and he's got some pickoffs to boot. A lot of members of Team Ice doing solid right now. 5-0 Froggen. He knows how to protect his KDA, and they are still hanging strong on this top side.
Yeah, more importantly,
Blue buff.
the fact that they have that Baron buff available just makes it... It removes so much of the wave clear that Faker was bringing to the table, so... Froggen, I believe, is still the only member with a left. He's not near his minions still, but he's looking for a flank.
Oh, Meteos is gonna get popped. Another one on the board for Froggen as PYL is thrown in. Looking for Faker. Can't quite fire him down, but he will. It's gonna be PYL that secures it. Throw the traffic code down because they want to stop Fire in their tracks. Marin looking for Uzi around the side. Lancer's fight is amazing. Stays alive. Under tower. Uzi hopping, skipping, jumping, blown up by Doublelift, and now Koro's in the mix, but he's gonna go down to Marin. One more shot. Shut down. It's a 3 for 3.
Far gonna keep going though. You can go through the base gate.
Or the front gate.
Or
He's
he's
just
just get
going
the
for the
farm.
farm.
He's actually going for a tier 1 tower mid right now. He's gonna push that way.
Oh, they got that alive. Oh, he got the wrong unbreakable. And now he's going to go down. PYL just needs to take a bite out of him, but he gives it over to Froggen. Good guy support.
Very far up. Mad Life at that point, you really don't have much of a reason to leave the base.
Yeah, he just wants to cancel bases again. He wants to just get some tempo. Again, Froggen not using the Baron buff here because he knows there's a dive that can be done. So rather he flanks out of vision. And at this point, when they get Faker, they could have backed out Ice here, but they're still toying with their food and actually commit a little bit too deep on the dive. Good moves, but continuously, somebody's always tanking this tower. Amazing has to even ulti here.
Uzi did a good job sidestepping a lot of that damage, despite the fact that Marin was right on top of him. Until he gets blown up. Until.
Yeah, it was right outside the Lamster's fight there. Doublelift just pops him one with a crit.
Yep.
I do have to commend Froggen, though. This is incredible Lux play here from him. And there are some transferable skills between Lux and Anivia in terms of positioning. You have to be able to land those skill shots as well.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah, I do think it's a big transferable skill set between these low mobility mages.
Yeah, that's just that was Froggen at the height in Season 2. Just love those mages overall. Mad Life right now with Meteos getting caught in the jungle. Good juke by Mad Life.
Yeah, he's able to hop back. Stand by me, or I'll stand by you, rather. As Ice is making an aggressive push towards this bottom lane. Now actually towards the middle. Let's take a look at Meteos' stacks as well. He's definitely had free run of the jungle a lot of this game.
Yeah, but again, it was the setup early game though from Amazing. Goes mids to kill Faker, gets Froggen ahead, then goes Bunted. Nice. The gank on the flashless Uzi. We really can't state enough how big that is for the flow of the game.
Oh, he's gonna dodge that one, but not the cone.
But yeah, Amazing has been having actually a really good week. Right? His Lee Sin play has now been drawing bans because of how efficient he seemed on that champion. And then Kindred, after the first pick of the Elise, you know you're not going to have a Gragas played in. You know you're not going to have these champions that displace you. So I thought this was a great pick for Amazing, and he played it really well. He went to the right lanes. Froggen landing the great bindings as they were happening, but being at the right time, at the right place at the right time, including bot lane. He really set this game up from the get-go.
It's no surprise that Amazing is really doing this well. He's coming off of, I would say, his best season since he started playing professionally. With Origin, making it semifinals to Worlds, and it's really not just him playing with the team, it's him setting up a lot for this team. And you can see it. You can see it in this game right now, why he's there. Mad Life is gonna get caught up against a wall and a whole lot of ice. He's taken out by Froggen, 8-0-4.
It still hurts, you know, when Sad Life comes out instead of Mad Life, and it just has these games. You see your childhood dream, like your idol, just feeding.
That's how I felt when I saw you playing.
At least you have good taste in idols.
I know, right?
Want me to give you guys a minute?
Now we're good.
All right. Let's go back into this one.
We don't need that
much. Let's talk about the other side of the equation too, because Uzi with PYL has been, I'll say, a little bit of a mixed bag. Uzi, you know, very famed as this incredible solo AD carry. I guess I'll have to put that one on hold as Meteos will be able to disengage away. Dragon taken out by Team Ice. That's number 2 for them, but they're not giving up on this push just yet. The troll is coming in. They want Meteos. Another traffic cone will help them secure it. No, he repels, and yes, he goes down. Koro picks it up. Uzi right in the front. This is where he wants to be. Unbreakable will not be enough to keep Marin healthy in this one, but the tower will.
Nice QSS of the stacks of Rend there.
Oh, okay. Don't walk that way, Double.
Getting led all around, but PYL and Uzi are making an extraordinarily deadly combo. PYL's Trundle is actually crazy.
Just overall, PL's playstyle is very just forward walking with heavy tank supports, and he just really has a good understanding of what trading means, and especially situations where he takes damage, but then his AD carry returns more beneficial damage. And a player like Uzi, I could almost say like people like Forgiven as well, would really appreciate that support playstyle where you're just constantly in their face, and you just know that your AD carry has the mechanics to really make those outplays too, and just continuously put pressure.
Speaking of outplays though,
I think I've seen this one before. It's a big final spark, but it won't hit anybody. PYL was caught in the Baron pit. He's taken out, and it's a 4v5 just like that.
And
Fire will back away happy.
Speaking of PYL making the sacrifices, he runs off to the side to get the Pyroclasm away from his team, but it bounces off of Baron and him back and forth until he's dead.
Yes. Cool.
Ice isn't done with this one just yet, but Uzi's about
busy.
to finish his back.
If they figure out,
yeah,
if they figure out that Uzi might be gone,
well, they're pushing mid right now. Faker just cleared this wave.
Massive wave on bottom.
You have to deal with that at the same time. You can send Marin because Marin has TP available to him, so he's just going to get into his ultimate. Oh,
that's a fast Quinn. Move over, Rammus.
And right now, Faker is still waiting on some gold. He really wants to hit the next item. Wants to finish that Liandry's, because then that's a really core brand build done, because he has the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Massive slows on all of his AoE spells.
there it is.
Yup, now it's Teamfight Brand with this build. Even though he's 1-4 and 6, he has potential to straight up carry a single teamfight.
Yeah, and that score doesn't necessarily do him justice either. They have been putting a whole lot of attention to that mid lane on Ice's side. So is Team Fire, but in that laning phase,
Yeah, but it's I still feel this is a different Faker we're seeing this tournament. Maybe just a little more relaxed, just not really respecting the boundaries as much, because this isn't the first team that has figured out that you should probably camp Faker. And in the past, very few have actually succeeded at doing it successfully. Maybe that was due to the merit of his team really cross-mapping very well, putting pressure on the other side of the map, capitalizing on the fact that people were spending time trying to kill Faker in a less organized environment. You know, happen.
Yeah, even in Faker's interviews, he talks about how he's a different player now than he was in Season 3. And Season 3 was all about Faker, and in Season 5, he's become about being a team player. So when he gets camped, it's always Bengi can go to a different lane and set up Marin. They actually did a lot of that during the season. If Faker was ever behind, I remember very clearly there was a Syndra game where he got back into it in the LCK by having a great play in the mid game, because he still knows that he's going to hit these breakpoints. He plays around them. But speaking of camping for Marin, not going to find anything here though.
yeah, Koro has definitely gotten himself up to a very comfortable point in this game, but still have to be careful on the side of Team Ice. Fire can burn them. They come a little bit too close. Meteos will be backing away on that one. Traffic Cone comes down.
PYL is just doing a great job of throwing out the Pillars of Filth on targets that have to use certain abilities to get away, whether it's a flash.
And just look at how comfortable Team Ice is with Frog and Wave Clear. We see 4 members moving up in the middle lane, completely no action. Speeding up POL, that's very smart.
Faker, he's got his flash. He's going to have to use it into his team, but the catches, the attempts keep on coming.
Yeah, I could see amazing pathing to the top lane to start a push right over there, because both teams realize if they stay in the mid lane, it's just Wave Clear versus Wave Clear. So what then is the limiting factor is split push. And obviously Marin has a leg up there. Amazing was trying to get a bit of a push in the top lane because Marin was bought. That again forced the initiate in the middle lane. Speaking up with Karma to get the pillar. Really good job.
He's doing a lot of damage to this turret.
Oh yeah. Koro's got a bit of wave clear on his side, but still, Marin is able to push oh so fast, and there wasn't enough attention being paid to this bottom side while they were hunting for Faker in the mid. Well, Koro wants
Actually,
one-on-one.
historically speaking, this is actually exactly what happened in the early stages of Season 3. There was a lot of team fight focus in Season 2. A lot of the AoE, those mages, you know, no assassins being played, AFK wave clear, people just falling for the same trick over and over by repetitively going mid and then being surprised that the minions would be evaporated. The answer to that obviously was then split push right now, and that's what we see Marin do here. Again, you ignore the mid lane. Wave clear, well, assume that the guy's good enough to put his spells on the minions, kill them, so go somewhere else. And Marin doing a really good job split pushing so far.
It's really risky to split push against this Karma as well. She has a way to speed herself up,
Yep.
to root you, and also with Frost Queen's claim to slow you down. So if you don't have adequate vision of where Amazing is at all times, somebody can be coming after you. So I'm big props to Marin here at playing the distance game on that. You can see right now, even though there's a wave all the way up there, he's farming Krugs, making sure that he's at least getting some uptime here.
He has the wards though to support him. 2 wards there. 3 right now with the new blue drink. It's relatively easy to stay safe. Goes well for blue wards. We'll likely see a re-engage here. Once Marin gets spotted in the bottom, there's 2 actions Ice can do. Hard engage mid is one of them, or Baron rush the other and just potentially trade for the unit.
Well, they've already tried that one, the ladder that is, a couple of times. It worked out once, just barely in the second. They did not get that one finished off. But with Marin already back and the super speedy bird,
I'm actually not a fan of doing Krugs and Grump there, as much as I love those camps. At this point in the game, your time should be spent on the
Uzi.
map.
he's trapped. He's got team in the back, but not close enough.
Hit the Baron.
Straight with Marin. There we go. Going to start that Baron off, but decides he doesn't want to just yet.
That's a big target though. Kalista is going to have to find some place to lifesteal. So going towards the Krugs right now just to make sure that he doesn't have to back, because that gives you such a large window. And you can see Marin, he's fine with backing. He's about to be right back in the action.
Yeah, right now we see actually Team Fire pinging the Dragon. I think that leads to too much of a tempo loss. That bot wave should just be pressured to tear apart Ice and then make some map moves, clear some vision. We see Marin right now in the top lane. Doublelift could technically be bot lane pushing too. He does pick up the Dragon for free. Likely going to move to the bot lane right now to re-push that lane that Koro's about to push out. Likely will then in turn see a hard engage in the mid lane or trying to make a pick. That's why you see Fire pulling back in the mid lane.
Yeah,
setting up an elaborate 3-lane push.
I don't think Doublelift can actually go up to this wave because he would just get caught. I think that the mobility from Marin would actually be a little bit better, but
That's the
big
cross
slaps around him.
That's where you're looking for the cross map right now. Once he actually gets engaged out, you want the team to then rush Baron, pull them back, and then that's the way you play split push. You know, you try and make it so that people make one mistake that leaves you one window where either you get a tower or you can rush the Baron straight for your AD carry.
It's that one opportunity, pushing the pole. As soon as somebody pushes, you have to pull and bring them to the other side of the map. And if they continue to push, then you actually end up getting an objective over them and try to make them the most of the trade.
Despite the fact that ICE has built themselves up a not entirely comfortable lead here, it's only about 4,000 in at 37 minutes onto the game. Really does hang in the balance a very, very, very close one that just one catch can snowball this one into tower, into an inhibitor. And neither team is keen on taking that chance.
And Marin back to split pushing now. All 5 members of ICE are in the mid lane, off to the left side, looking to be around that Baron.
I think ICE is going to have to rush the Baron here because they're in a position where they have no play other than do it. At least start it. They want to stop the push in the mid lane. They want the teleport to be used by Marin.
Oh, he just used it.
On. So that one's burned.
Ooh.
Zone
We're able
though.
to get that for a couple of blue trinkets.
They have to start the Baron now, otherwise they're at risk of losing mid
Go straight for
inhibitor.
it.
They have Kalista and Kindred so they can stay in the pit, use the ultimate to stay alive.
Froggen takes a bit of damage from Marin though, and they will throw down a little bit of zone. The Baron will reset. Fire not getting anything else for it though.
Baker with the pings. They're going to continue to push this mid lane because they have inner track on it.
A really, really good positioning overall and just way better backup play.
I don't know. If I was Marin, I think you should have run straight at that turret, use your Youmu's, and get some damage on it.
Yep.
Baker was the one trying to push, but Froggen is already backed, and they even managed to push a little bit more on the top side wave. 3K is the difference, but that doesn't matter right now as Marin is being fired down by a combination of Uzi and PYL before the rest of his team can even arrive. They'll be backing the way through the jungle.
Still have to look out, though. PYL, he has had some good catches with those cones.
Fire doing a really good job just dancing around Team Ice here, pushing mid, forcing them to go mid. Now they clean the vision, complete vision denial right now. Double F.
Oh, my. Ooh.
Got that
I was
hot, but
right behind him.
hot on his tail as ICE does their best to maintain control of this pit. They want a little bit more. Uzi throws in PYL, who backs away from the pillar, throws his own, and Fire disengages in the nick of time.
Zero vision on Baron for either team right now.
Marin's coming. Might contest with Amazing here, who has the Gromp as his next target. Marin wants to push him off of that, but he knows the team is right behind him, so he's safe to do it. ICE will get together, and the Crab will be contested. Not even sure who it went to.
I'm very surprised that Marin actually did a manual dismount there from his ultimate. Usually, if you just get the auto attack on somebody and you press it on them, you're going to get that extra damage. But he just manually canceled it around the wall from Amazing. You can also cancel it by buffering an E on someone as well.
He is all over this map and all over this jungle. But they've got eyes on him. The blue trinkets,
All right.
3 on either side, coming in handy this time.
Just, you can follow the strategy that Team Fire is doing right now by just watching the pings on the map. So they identify threat number 1, which is the pushing top wave right now. Really, that just adds pressure to you, so you really want to get that slow pushing.
Oh, he didn't jump over the wall.
Uzi with a bit of a...
Amazing is
oopsie.
not super happy right here. He's going to bail out.
Yeah, usually you can Callista Q over that wall. There's a certain portion of it that you can do it on.
Yep. Surprising to see that it's Uzi out of all people that fails it. Even Uzi fails that jump.
Yep.
So next time you flame your teammate for being boosted.
Right? At All-Stars, you learn that Uzi messes up that jump. At Worlds, you learn that Faker even fail flashes sometimes. It's always good to get
Everyone can feel good. Everyone can feel good about that. But back to this game, we're 40 minutes in. The stakes just keep on getting higher because a wipe of a team could very well mean the end of it with those death timers creeping all the way up. And the Baron has become the center of focus for Team Ice. Mid lane, still for Team Fire.
Exactly. It's just such a back and forth. It's just a tiny little dance here. If one person missteps, then they're caught, and that's a kill, and they can get so much off of that.
He goes, Marin, he's got the tether. Koro does that is. Marin is trying his best to run away. He's going to go ahead and clear it off of him, but he is caught in between everything, has to flash the cone. And now it could be the chance for Ice to strike, but Double Lift and Meteos trying to zone Amazing way from this one. PYL in the front, another cone down. Those cooldowns are just way too low for him. Goes in, gonna get pulled in. Pyroclasm is effectively canceled. Meteos jumps up, tries to escape. Mad Life throws his ulti down, but he is caught with the Unbreakable. He's going down, but he buys the rest of the life for the team. Oh! Koro snipes him with a Mantra Q. Amazing over the wall, throws the Lamb's Respite. Meteos is in the middle, Double Lift is down. Froggen picks it up, Meteos is blown away, and Marin, the last man standing, will not be able to stop this Baron.
Big misplay there. They have so much catch potential on Ice. You have to respect it. You have to respect the spooky ghosts. You have to respect the speed up from Karma as well, or else you're just going to get caught just like that.
Yeah, Koro and POL have been playing fantastically together overall. It's just to see a Karma really identify the right usage of shield That's actually very tricky. You just continuously speed up anything that can make the engage happen. And instead of speeding up Froggen to try and fish for Qs, it's actually speeding up PL, who has just a tendency to play so far forward anyways. He gets the pillar there. That facilitates for Froggen. Suddenly everybody's on the run, and if you can never turn, because if you then turn, Amazing has a really easy ultimate spawn.
Now Barn trying to save the day, but he won't even last more than a few seconds. Tower going down, Inhibitor soon to follow. Mad Life's the last man on the board for a few more seconds, and this Nexus turret is gonna go down oh so quick. I don't know what Mad Life can do. The rest of the guys are off the fountain, but are they in time to save the day? Ice Ice Baby is the word of the day, and there will be no tiebreaker at All-Stars 2015.
Final match decides it all.
It's true. Froggen, though, having a crazy game. Getting attention from Amazing, being able to carry that, landing the Qs, and just overall, Ice, you could see from an individual performance, were doing well, but the way they were synergizing was very beautiful on top of all of it.
Oh yeah, they worked together very well this game. I was very impressed by this particular choice. The All-Stars for Team Ice, they really voted. Everybody out there, good job on that one. Oh, and they just get a big ups from the crowd. Nothing against Team Fire, though. They played this one out well. I feel like they just didn't quite have the same control of the map most of the game.
Faker played the matchup well 1v1. He was chunking out Froggen, testing CS, but then he kind of left himself exposed, and you can't do that without support from your jungler. So either Meteor should have been mid at the level 3, noticing that the lane is pushing out. He had the potential to be there, but just a really slick gank from Amazing opened up that mid lane. Then he went to the bot lane, facilitated stuff, and I can't stress enough just how pivotal that was for the early game. So very impressed with the early game from Amazing there. Froggen beautifully executing that looks. That's why we like seeing him on these like slow wave clear mages, but he's actually changing his playstyle to be more involved in the side parts of the map, at least, especially this tournament.
Yeah, those mages are so frustrating to play against because you have to